Jandy Tarkovsky is developing a Conan the Barbarian animated series for Cartoon Network. They're going to soft launch in December with a Conan of Cimmeria Christmas, where he'll learn the true meaning of Crom. Marvel's going to release the first titles of their new universe, Marvel Midnight, on the same day in October. Gotta admit, it's a tough sell for me. I can't stay up till midnight. And today, comedian Jeff May introduced me to one of the writers of Image's Fireborn as a comic book pundit, and frankly, I'll take it. I'm Derek McCaw, and this is Fanboy Planet. Hey Planeteers, welcome back to the Weekly Stack. For those who are new here, what happens is I go to House of Secrets in Burbank, California, mostly every Wednesday. Sometimes it may be a little late, but there you go. And I pick up my stack of books that I pre-ordered. I look through the shelves and see what else there is that I might have missed or what looks good. And then I read some. I don't read all of them by Wednesday night, but, because it's a lot. And I have a job. So anyway, that's what I do. I come on here and I talk about what I bought this week and how good they are. And as always, if there's something that you recommend that I have not read yet, please, by all means, let me know politely, either at editor@fanboyplanet.com, or you can comment directly on YouTube or on the Fanboy Planet page that you are watching this on. This, just like the Marvel Midnight Universe, Marvel released 3 ultimate finale universe things on the same day, or at least that's the way they all landed at House of Secrets. And it's a little bit confusing. I think I got them all, but anyway, Ultimate Endgame number 5, finally bringing an end to the Ultimate Universe, except no, there is still Ultimate Finale number 4, I think. Didn't read that one yet, but the writer here is Dennis Camp, who is awesome. And Terry and Rachel Dodson are the artists with Jonas Scharf. I love all 3 of them. And the letterer is Corey Petty, and the colorist is Terry Dodson and Edgar Delgado. So anyway, this has been a long haul, well over 2 years. And here we are at the end. It goes in a different direction than I was afraid it was going to. So kudos there. It's a little bit of a mind bender because of what the maker, who is the big bad of this thing, is. And there's time travel and there's dimensional travel, all cut off from the regular Marvel Universe, Earth 616. So I've enjoyed the run. I really have. And for the most part, I've read everything in it. Yeah, for the most part. And it's a cool wrap up. And later, I'll see how the finale went. There's also the Ultimate Impact number 2, which is what happens when Miles Morales has these origin boxes and they get spread all over Earth 616. You may have heard me mention that at 20 seconds ago or so. Anyway, so that's that. And next up, one that I've been looking forward to because I'm really enjoying what Skybound has been doing with the Universal Monsters. And I kind of think this is where that run goes, unless they decide to do like a crossover. They can't get the rights to Abbott and Costello. But this one is Universal Monsters, and that's crucial when you're looking for it in the catalog, Blood of the Wolfman number 1 by Joshua Williamson, Leo Max, and Pip Martin. I like the art. I like the story. Each of these Universal Monster books from Skybound have taken different approaches to what I would assume is sequelizing, or in some cases sort of adapting the original Universal Monster movies. So this one is sort of, I guess, I thought completely unrelated to the movie The Wolfman way back when, because it's set pretty much in modern day. And it's a young man discovering that he is cursed It's right there. Blood of the Wolf Man, obviously. I Through a character design sketch, I'd say there's more of a connection than I thought, but I still like that this is mostly, at least the first issue, really a standalone story. And if you saw Wolfman, the one like 2 or 3 years ago, I've said this before, like with their take on the Mummy, I kind of wish they'd made this script into a movie, and it would have been better. But of course, the script didn't exist then, so that's silly of me, and I fully accept responsibility for my silliness. So I dug it, and I have bought all of them. And this, if it keeps up the tone, might become one of my top three of the monsters. So next up is the Summer of Supergirl special, which very wisely has a lead story that is Supergirl and Lobo, the characters in the Supergirl movie. I don't yet know how closely aligned that is. I think probably not much, because this is the all-in version and I love it. And the regular Supergirl creative team, and I'm going to put my reading glasses on because they made this small. They didn't know I was going to record. Sophie Campbell is the writer, and Belen Ortega is the artist and cover artist. Triona Farrell is the colorist, and Becca Carey is the letterer. And this is the regular Supergirl creative team. And what I dug about this story, aside from it's it is cool, and it involves Lobo's dog. I forgot he had a dog. Dog, spelled Dawg. And as we just celebrated my dog's second annual gotcha day on Sunday, so that was kind of like my Father's Day, if you will. I get it. They're not pandering to me, but I will tell you that this story really, really got to my heart. Except, good Lord, Lobo, you should not feed your dog these things. So that was fun. And then, like I said, there are two other stories. There's a Supergirl and Shazam crossover, and this I believe was by Gail Simone. And yep, putting those reading glasses back on because they make it complicated with this. Penciler is Emma Kubert, who I think is really good. Inker is Sandra Hope, and the colorist is Trish Mulvihill, and the letterer is Ariana Mare. And, I do want to say, you just notice this. These are all women creators, and they're terrific. And this story with Supergirl and Mary Marvel is the first time I think I've thought that the thing with all the foster children sort of worked in this. I mean, I'm not going to critique. I've just, I'm old school, and I read that Shazam 40s to the 70s book back in the 70s. And, so I was very steeped in Shazam lore, and which I think they are calling him Captain Marvel in comics again. And I think that's really exciting. Though in this story, they still refer to him as the Captain, though he doesn't appear. And another thing I want to say about the lead story is it actually contextualizes or fits into continuity. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is the graphic novel by Bilquis Evely and Tom King. I know usually people say it the other way around, but really, look, let's be honest. It's a gorgeous book, and that's Bilquis Evely. So I might be saying her name wrong. As always, if you know better, send it to me phonetically. I will do my best in the future. But anyway, it's a great graphic novel. I look forward to seeing the movie. But I would also say it always struck me as being almost an Elseworlds. It wasn't. I know it wasn't, but it seemed far in the character's future, which is easy to say when essentially the Kryptonians are immortal. This puts it in place and doesn't violate what this version of Supergirl that Sophie Campbell has been writing, that I love, it does. I'd never thought about why Linda Danvers went to the orphanage before. Again, I kind of grew up also reading Superman from the 30s to the 70s. and just kind of taking these things for granted. Oh, they did it because you did it, and this is the backstory. And this actually explains that. And maybe some other writer has somewhere, but I'm going to give Sophie Campbell credit because I love that attention is being paid to Supergirl in a way that is for girls. I know it's not for me, and yet I love it because it's just so doggone good. And then we go to who is Supergirl. I did say this was all women creators, and now we get to Mark Waid. And artist is Sean Tormey. The colorist is Alex Guimares. Letterer is Steve Wands. Now, the editorial team is Julian Grant and Brittany Holzhair. So choices were made. And I think the real reason this last story is given over to Mark Waid is because this has to do with Justice League continuity. It's a little tighter in there trying to make it make sense. And, so it's cool. It's nice. If you have not read Supergirl, then this is a great place to go back. And, I want to say very canny because this makes then the perfect, if this weekend people go see Supergirl and are intrigued, not only would you buy Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which I'm sure people will, and you can do it on bookshop.org. I recommend that. But if you go to your comic shop, they'll have it too. But if they have this Summer of Supergirl special, this is a fun way to get a younger reader involved. And I mean, older readers too, don't get me wrong. But, again, I look at this as this would be a really cool first comic for someone who liked Supergirl, even though they do say it's tied into Lobo's book in the All In line or Next Level, I'm sorry. But I didn't need to know what that story was because I'm not continuing with Lobo after issue 1. I gave it a shot. It was good. It's just Lobo is not one of those characters that go, yeah, got to read that. So, he's kind of one note for me, and that note is violent, and that's okay. Just not for me. Okay, so the next thing I bought was Mark Spears' Midknight Man #1. And I'm trying to find online, figure this out. When I do searches, I think Mark Spears is a great artist, and this is a spin-off from Mark Spears' Monsters. All of them from Keen Spot, which I've occasionally, bought things from. But this, what I understand is that Mark Spears' Monsters was based on paintings he was doing for trading cards. And it's an approach to selling books that feels like, oh, they're really, well, kind of like, being honest about variant covers, driving up collectability. It's an incredibly high selling book if figures are to be believed, and why not? Certainly the biggest book that Keen Spot has. And again, this spun out, and I read the trade paperback of Mark Spears' Monsters. I actually just finished it last night, and I think his art is beautiful. It is also, there's just kind of a lifelessness sometimes to it because it's almost like too perfect in its digital painting, I assume, but I don't know because I haven't met him, and his writing's okay. The only thing I didn't like about this book, Midknight Man #1, was that he has a prologue that, while I think is probably gonna tie into further issues, it's metatextual and a little bit whiny, taking on his critics directly, like basically a kid's in a comic shop saying, I like Mark Spears' Monsters, the book, and one of the clerks saying that book sucks, and arguing and all the online criticism I'm sure he's taken. Well, I didn't need that. That seems, I don't know. It struck me as the wrong note, but the rest of the book I thought was really good. I'm going to really go back. This Midknight Man strikes me a little bit like No Man from the Wally Wood's Thunder Agents. Yeah, that dates me again. How many times am I going to edit in that old man fanboy thing? It's a cool idea. I don't want to get too much further in because I want it, to be a surprise. It's cool. I read this and thought, I cannot wait to see where it goes next. Whereas honestly, when I finished the trade of Mark Spears Monsters, I'm like, yeah, I can wait a few months for the next trade. I'll continue with it. Obviously, I reviewed a Universal Monsters book this week. I like the monsters, and that's it's it's okay. This was something a level above that, and so I'm there. But I'm new to Mark Spears, and again, if anybody wants to tell me what they know, or other books that he wrote that you think are cool, I'm all for it. I just don't, I just haven't encountered him. I'm throwing this in because I bought it today. That doesn't mean it's been out for a while. This is a third printing, and it's Fireborn #1, and it's from Image and TECC Content.com. I don't know much about that company either. I'd never heard of it before, but I'm bringing it up because, hey, the best way for a creator to get me to buy their book is to uh, the silent shame that I'm meeting you and I have not read your work before. So I met Franklin Jonas today. Jeff May introduced us. And by the way, if you're not listening to one of Jeff May's many podcasts, start with Jeff. Jeff has cool friends. He's great, and he runs a comedy show every month in my neighborhood, honestly. And he's funny. He's funny. So there you go. And he called me a comic book pundit. Like I said it up top, I'll take it. So anyway, it's Fireborn, and all the creators is Kurt Pires. Again, hope I'm saying that right. Although it would be funny if a book called Fireborn, his name was Pires, but I don't know. On this cover, Timmy Heeg is getting us better. He's worked on Minor Threats for Dark Horse, did some of the Archie horror books, and he is a co-owner, maybe full owner of, I think it's Arsenal Comics up in Ventura. But inside, I can't find anything that credits him. So I don't know if that was a misprint or he had some contribution that they just left off. I don't know. Somewhere there's been an editorial mistake. So this is created by Kurt Pires, Franklin Jonas, and Patrick Mulholland. And he's listed there. Luca Casalanguada, Mark Dale, and Micah Myers are involved. And it says it's spun out from the world of Lost Fantasy, which I confess as well, I don't know what that is. But I did like this book. Similarly, begins with kind of in media res, something happening, and it says, this is not the beginning, and then it goes back to the beginning or where this particular story starts. And I dug it. I like the art. I thought the characterization was interesting, and the way that a character, hence the titular Fireborn, gets his powers is cool. I think I get why there's like this lost fantasy thing, because I think we're probably dealing with extra dimensional war somehow, but I don't know, and at the moment I don't need it. But this is one that honestly I think it's up to like issue 4 out on the stands, maybe issue 3. And I couldn't find #2, as often you can't. And that's not just a problem at House of Secrets; it's everywhere, because stores will order #1. They won't know really how how many they'll sell, and so #2 is a risk, and usually orders for that are down. And so once again, I think, Jiminy Christmas, there's got to be a better way to get people into comics. And trade paperbacks are great, but if someone's coming in to collect, that's hard, because you don't even hear until it's too late that #2 is what you like. So I will get the trade. And it's not because I didn't like this. I said it was good. And it's not, it's not good, not great. It was good. It's just that I have so much to read, especially with Comic-Con coming up. It's 30 days away, I think, right now. I got a lot of books that I need to get through, so I can wait for a trade paperback, or I might go to globalcomics.com and see if the other 2 issues are, is it right to say streaming readable? I don't know. But anyway, it's a good way out. So thanks for making it this far. And, of course, I'll be back next week with another stack. As always, if there's something that you like that I'm not reading, please let me know. I mean, I did just see there's one of the Spawn books, actually, several of the Spawn books have creators working on them that I really like. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, where do I start? Where do I jump in? And, because I like these creators. Gail Simone being one. Obviously, I think I mentioned her earlier. And so anyway, please let me know if there's a book that you think I should check out. Love to do it. And, if you like watching this and seeing me work my way through a stack of comics each week, please, like the video and hit the subscribe button. And I know people feel like that's kind of pandering, begging for it, but this is the reality. It's nice to know that people want to come back. So there you go. Hit the like button, subscribe, and till next week and beyond, use your powers for good.